Hey everyone, welcome to the Commissioners Clubhouse and the LCC Network for our very last episode of January. It's hard to believe we've already gotten through a whole month of the off season, but here we are, and like always, we've got Isaac.
What's up?
And we, like always, we got Jameson as well. What's going on?
Hey, yeah, it's good to be here. Last week of January. I'm excited about this episode and next week as well, heading into February. So this week we've got quick announcements, some news and notes from the not so fantasy world. So we're going to talk about coaching changes, top 5 LCC rivalries. This picks up from last week's segment, and then of course reaction to rule changes. A lot of rule changes that happened last week. Now we're going to just kind of run through those, kind of how we feel about them, how they might impact the league. So a lot to talk about, so we'll jump straight into announcements. We want to thank everyone who voted for the rule proposals. We didn't get everybody, but I think we averaged like 19 people.
Yeah, I mean, we got damn near everybody, which is a real big improvement from last year.
Although a lot of people would vote for one poll and then not the other, or they would just vote for one poll. So
yeah, I don't get that either.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. And another thing, this is a huge one. The fantasy.
That's what she said.
Oh wait, hold on. You caught me off guard.
That's what she said.
There you go.
Yeah, fantasy season sneaks up on us, so we've got payments for the league due by March 3rd. That's the absolute last day. So really, I should be saying like March 1st or even late February.
February 3rd, everyone. February 3rd.
February 3rd. Same as last year. PayPal it to my PayPal. If you need that, just let me know. Otherwise, it's the same format and everything. So get that done. If you have questions, let us know. So, all right, guys, we're going to jump into some news. Most of this is coaching change related. We're not going to talk a lot of player stuff specifically, although I'm sure it'll come up. So we'll kind of go right into some coaching changes that happened, mostly head coaching stuff. So does that work for you guys? You ready?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. So we've got the Bengals head coach here. It's kind of alphabetical order, so we'll go through it this way. The new head coach for the Bengals, Zach Taylor. I don't know anything about this guy, and
technically, I was going to say, technically, he's not the head coach yet because the Rams are in the Super Bowl.
That's true.
He's the guy they're supposed to hire for some odd reason. But yeah, I mean, who the hell is this guy?
Well,
yeah.
Kind of my reaction to it, I think this what this is showing is the direction the NFL is going. There was a day and time where defensive coordinators getting hired as head coaches was a common theme. Now they're digging so deep they're hiring QB coaches as the head coach. I mean, that goes to show you defense doesn't mean nearly as much as it used to in the NFL. I mean, there's a lot of defensive coordinators totally being shown disrespect by hiring a QB coach as the head coach, not the offensive coordinator. I mean, we're talking the head coach. That is just crazy to think about.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
Jump in salary and responsibility. I mean, that's a big leap.
It also shows the Sean McVay impact on the league. I mean, this is a quarterback coach. Like you were talking about. So, I mean, any way to get a piece of Sean McVay's coaching tree is what teams seem to be doing right now.
Not even that. Every team wants to find the next Sean McVay. Like, he was the first of his kind. He was young. He had a fresh mind and he wanted the offense to run. The NFL's seen it here and there, but I mean, he took the league by storm when he came in.
Yeah, he was. I think there's a lot to be seen. I don't know a lot about this guy, so I'd hate to give a bunch of fantasy, kind of impact and expectations without knowing. So we'll see. I mean, are you guys okay with just moving on for now until we know more?
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine with that. Like I said, the only thing I got out of it just shows the direction the NFL is moving. I mean, really, that's kind of what I'm seeing out of this.
Yeah. So next we got Broncos head coach Nick Fangio. I think that's how you say his name. He was the Bears defensive coordinator this past season. I like this move for the defense. I think it's going to be pretty impactful on the defensive side of the ball. The Bears defense was one of the best, if not the best, in the league last year. And not all of their linebackers, all their significant linebackers finished in the top 29 in our league scoring, at least. So 3 of the top 20 in the top 29 4 of the Bears DBs were in the top 50 last year. So I think this looks really good for Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, Todd Davis, Justin Simmons, really anybody on that Broncos defense.
Yep. I mean, with me, that Bears team was actually surprisingly good. I mean, everybody knew that Khalil Mack, he was going to have an impact, but everybody else just, I mean, they were like, okay, well, we got a real shot at this now. So, let's all just fucking ball out.
Did you
And there they
expect
go
that
with,
much
top.
of an impact, though? I didn't think it was going to be that impactful. I mean, I thought he'd be
No,
good, but
no.
insane.
I mean, I knew they had a stout defense. It wasn't great. It was like mediocre, it's like in the middle, but they really did take a big jump with that one signing. I mean, one person's not really going to change, but he really did, like, physically and his persona and his playing skill. People just they fed off his energy.
Yeah. No, I like this move. I think for me right now, before we know anything else, I think all of the Broncos defensive players are getting a slight bump. I mean, don't go reaching for players, but I mean, I'm definitely looking more at Von Miller, especially with the new rule change, which we'll talk about later. But I'm definitely looking at like Von Miller and Bradley Chubb more this year than I did last year, for sure.
For sure.
So Browns next. Freddie Kitchens, he was the offensive coordinator. He's new head coach. One of you guys want to go first? Any thoughts on him?
I'm looking at your guys' notes right now. I'm trying not to dive into that, but I'm not, dude. I'm sorry, man. I'm just not buying this. I get it. I think the Browns are sick of getting burnt by signing big, not even just for coaching purposes, but for players too, like going after the big names out there. And this definitely wasn't the biggest signing, in my opinion, in terms of coaches go. Freddie Kitchens, do I like him? Yes. But do I think he's going to succeed as the Browns head coach? No, I don't. And because I think some of their problems are deeper. The seeds go way deeper than just a coaching change. I think there's still some things that management needs to do from a player perspective to really bring this team to the next level. I mean, I don't believe in any of their receivers. I'm not a huge fan of Baker Mayfield. I mean,
Jarvis Landry?
You got Jarvis the Juice Landry. I mean, how do you not like him?
Nick Chubb. I mean, I like
Nick Chubb. I like Nick Chubb and Njoku. Yes, I like him. But I'm sorry. Like, we saw it this year, dude. Landry didn't. Landry got a lot of hype in the offseason for fantasy purposes. My opinion, he wasn't that much better than what. I mean, to me, he didn't meet the expectations that a lot of experts were giving him. And so I don't know. We'll see. My initial thought process is no, I'm not really impressed with this.
No, yeah, he definitely didn't meet the expectation, but I think, I expected him to kind of have some growing pains first year in a new system and everything, especially on a team like Cleveland.
Well, and you had a rookie quarterback that, granted, he didn't start the season, but you knew he was going to come in. I mean, he was the first overall pick. You really thought Tyrod Taylor was going to start all year?
Yeah, rookie quarterback.
So, I mean, you knew there was going to be somewhat of a drop-off when a rookie came in. Nobody's going to be a Patrick Mahomes.
And that's another thing, too.
And just ball out.
This is Baker's second season. Freddie Kitchens, he's a liked guy in the organization. I mean, you're right, Pat, about the front office having a lot of issues, but hopefully with him being in the organization before, maybe that'll help with some of the stability and things like that. So,
see, I really like John Dorsey. I mean, he's got a really good eye for talent, and he doesn't really put up with much bullshit either.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch Hard Knocks this past season, I mean, he was letting people know. But anyway, I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, we looked at Dirk Cutter when he was hired from the Falcons as Tampa Bay's head coach. There was a lot of hype about, oh my God, Falcons have number one offense. It's going to translate to Tampa.
Patrick, are you building
kind of fluttered
over there? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm building a house.
No, I'm
just kidding. Sorry, I was throwing something away in the trash can while you were talking. Sorry about that.
I say, damn, interrupted me and everything. Too off of mojo.
Sorry,
Anyway, so like I said, the Cutter hiring, a lot of hype. Didn't work out. Not all offensive coordinators are meant to be head coaches. We'll see if this turns out. He's a good coordinator, but I don't know if he'll be a good head coach.
Yeah. Speaking of Tampa, wait, before we get to Tampa, guys, so I've been chewing Double Bubble for like the last hour. I got this candy cane for Christmas in my stocking. It's a plastic candy cane. Double Bubble needs to get their act together, dude. I've literally popped like 17 pieces in my mouth in the last hour because it goes bad so quickly. Like, this is horrible.
The fact
This
that
is
you're
horrible.
even eating that right now is disgusting to me.
It was free. It's gum. Like, I wanted to try it, but I mean, literally like 10 seconds in your mouth, and it just goes bad.
That's what she said.
But I did not talk about that. Just to set that up, by the way. Anyway, we'll get back to it. So that runs into Tampa, which I'm sure Isaac's going to want to talk about here. Bruce Arians out of retirement into Tampa. I think this is great for the offense. I'm excited about this. Good for Winston. Arians always had relevant QBs, fantasy QBs. He likes to throw the ball deep. I think if Jackson stays, that's going to benefit him a lot, and maybe even some of the other receivers as they kind of stretch the field. So I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited as a Buccaneers fan. I didn't think this was going to be possible. I mean, there was, you always see these rumor trees. Oh, yeah, this is rumored to be a head coach. I never bought into this because I knew his connection with our general manager, Jason Light. But, yeah, when I found out, I mean, I was really stoked. And then I just realized, like, oh, shit, we're about to switch to a 3-4, aren't we? Like, how is that going to work?
That might. I mean,
Like,
yeah.
what about poor Jerry McCoy? Spent 19 years of his career with us and seems like he's about to be on his way out. But according to the press conference, Arians and Bowles said that we don't run a scheme. We run a defense based off our players' skills. We're not going to put it in a 4-3. We're not going to put it in a 3-4. We're going to design what's best. Are you best in man? Are you best in zone? And whatever works. It could be a mix of both. So, I mean, we'll see. But, I mean, I'm really excited. Obviously, we'll see how our offense was already pretty good. I mean, we were top 10 offense last year.
Yeah.
Even how shitty our team was. I mean, we were still really good offense.
Pat, are you messing with your mic again?
No, that wasn't me that time. I swear.
Yeah.
Why you keep interrupting me? It's so rude.
All right, no, I'm hearing a lot of
I think it's
feedback,
Isaac,
like,
honestly.
I'm hearing a lot of noise, and I know if I'm hearing it, that our listeners are going to be hearing it. And I'm like, what is that?
Anyway,
yeah.
great hire. Real excited.
Yeah.
Moving on.
No, yeah, it's going to be really good. All right, so we got Cardinals next. This is Cliff Kingsbury. I freaking hate this hire for the Cardinals. I mean, I couldn't imagine a worse person to hire for a team as dysfunctional as the Cardinals with a young quarterback. And they're like, I'm not convinced he's a quarterback whisperer just because he had Mahomes playing for him at Texas Tech. I mean, that was a putrid offense. And I mean, I want a guy that's probably got a little more experience and doesn't bring the kind of the drama with him that Cliff Kingsbury is going to bring to Arizona. So I hate this hire. I hate it.
Yeah, I've been listening to it on the radio here. I mean, I live up here in the Northwest, so you hear a lot of stuff with the Seahawks and their division. And dude, it's a laughing stock of a sign up here in the Northwest. Like, yeah, great sign, Cardinals. This is great. I mean, dude, they just signed a head coach who wasn't even. Dude, he was barely breaking 500 as a head coach at the college level for Texas Tech in a weak Power 5 conference. This is when I saw this again, this just reinforced my belief that the NFL is going on this path of offense heavy, and that's really they'll figure everything else out later on. They're focusing on putting together an elite offense that can pick apart pretty much any defense in the league, and they for some reason think Cliff is the guy to do it. But I'm sorry, I don't see that.
Fired from his own school, super young guy. It's that Sean McVay thing again, man. Young guy.
Oh, man.
So next we got the Dolphins, Brian Flores, Patriots defensive coordinator. I don't know a ton about him. I do know that, like Isaac has here in the notes, that typically coaches that come from the Belichick tree don't do very well when they're on their own. But, I mean, does anyone else know a little bit about this guy?
Well,
no?
I'm kind of going with Isaac here. I mean, it's just not uncommon to see the Patriots or Bill Belichick staff kind of get picked apart in terms of people signing him, because when you think of one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, it's without a doubt, Bill Belichick. So why wouldn't you go and sign his coordinators that he is kind of put together? I mean, he doesn't slack off and sign a guy he doesn't believe in. So, I mean, that's just a very common thing we've seen in the NFL over the years.
Yeah. Yeah, Dolphins linebackers last year were really successful, so we'll see what happens with them this year under a new head coach. So we'll see. I'm a little concerned. Jets head coach Adam Gase, fired by the Dolphins, hired by the Jets in the division. I hate this move. I hate it. I've never liked Adam Gase. He's not a team builder. He's not a likable guy. He consistently underutilized pieces like Kenyon Drake last year. He kept running Frank Gore out there. I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. Any thoughts there, Isaac?
Yeah, I mean, as a partial Jets fan, yes, I'm a Bucs fan, but a lot of my family go for the Jets, and I do have some family in New York, and they're Jets fans. So that and the Eagles are my secondary team. But anyway, yeah, I mean, they
How many
are
teams
kind
do
of
you
good.
got?
Well, I mean, you got the Bucs. That's my team, and then you got the teams that everybody around you cheers for, which is
Okay.
Philly and Jets for me.
All right, I'll let you have it.
All right. Any more interruptions, or can I continue?
No, we're good. We're good.
Right.
We're good.
You're 3 for 3 here. I mean, next you don't get 4 strikes. But anyway, yeah, they're kind of confused by this hire. I mean, he wasn't successful with the Dolphins, and then he's going to go in the same division to go to the Jets. It's a big spotlight in New York. I just don't know how this is going to work out. Maybe it's just somebody to coach for like a year or two to free up somebody else in the future. Like they know this is not going to be successful. But they did hire Greg Williams, which was the defensive coordinator for the Browns, who took over as interim head coach. So that'll be interesting because they normally run a 4-3, and the Jets always typically run a 3-4. So we'll see, like the Bucs, how this goes next year.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens. Packers, last team here, Matt LaFleur, former Titans offensive coordinator, also came from the Sean McVay coaching tree and with the Rams, but he didn't call plays when he was with the Rams. Did when he was with Tennessee, and I wasn't impressed. I don't think Tennessee moved forward at all. If anything, they probably went backwards. Mariota doesn't look like he's developing. Derrick Henry wasn't utilized until the last 3 weeks of the season. I mean, they don't have a number one besides Corey Davis, and I mean, we could argue if he's number one or not. I didn't like him, so I mean, I don't know what we're going to see in Green Bay. I think he's at least a new face for Aaron Rodgers, someone he can get along with. But I think we'll see some regression from maybe Devontae Adams, and maybe not as much Devontae Adams' fault. Just he was so good this year. Head coaching change. I think we're going to see a little bit of regression there, but maybe some improvement for Aaron Jones if they can utilize him, because Mike McCarthy didn't seem to do that very well, I don't think.
Yeah, this move is surprising. I mean, just like Cliff Kingsbury and Adam Gase, you get another guy that's had some success, but has recently just not performed well, like coaching-wise. And this guy, he did great under Sean McVay. Then he left the Titans, and that Titans offense throughout the season was not good at all.
Ugly.
And somehow he becomes head coach.
Yeah.
You know, like Pat and them said, you know, it's the way the league's going now with this offensive base. So, and I also think that he'll listen to Aaron Rodgers, and that was the biggest point with him butting heads with Mike McCarthy.
Exactly. If you anyone who believes Aaron Rodgers didn't have a say in this coaching hire is out of their mind. I know they're not going to admit it, but he definitely had a say in this. So I think he'll like it at least, maybe the offense, but the defense, I don't know. I guess that will remain to be seen. All right, cool. So we got the rest of our LCC rivalries we wanted to get through here. I know people seem to like that segment last week. So Pat, I'll let you pick up, man. Let you lead the way. Are we going to jump straight into it?
Let's do this.
Are we going to jump straight into it?
Yeah, man, I'm pumped.
All right, so I can press the sound drop this time, right? You're not going to do like –
Well, hang on. Just real quick, I'm going to run this in like 30 seconds or less. Just kind of recap where we left off in the rankings. Our last week, just some honorable mentions down to number 6 or whatever. We got Isaac Billy, then Billy Cameron, then Cody Hunter, then Colby Mafali, then Cody Cameron, and Daquan and Cody. Then me and Isaac to start off number 10. Then Daquan Jordan, Jamison Tyler. We've got Mafali.
Did you really just name the honorable mentions again?
No, yeah, I'm just running through them real quick.
Nobody cares about the honorable mentions. You didn't make the cut, okay, guys? Go ahead and start the top 10.
All right, and then sorry, I forgot where I left off. I think I said Cody Mafali, and then we had Jade and Colby at number 6. So number 5, do it, Jameson.
Oh well, hold on.
God,
number 5.
I cut it off early. There we go.
There we go. All right, so like Jameson's voice just told us right there, number 5 is coming in hot and heavy with Little Critter Bowl rivals right here for sure. It is John and Jade. These two right here, man, I'm telling you, John, my dad, is owner of Eastside Brawlers, played each other twice in Little Critter Bowl back-to-back years. I mean, that right there, that's just going to breed a rivalry. And I'm not saying this is a rivalry, there's a ton of trash talking between both of them, because there's not. But 2012, you had Jade end up putting a beat down on my dad, 138 to 67, man. And then to flip-flop it, the following year, you could argue my dad shouldn't have even been there with the way his team was playing at one point in the season. Jade's team was definitely stacked, and the way that went into Monday night, it really looked like Jade was going to win the Little Critter Bowl in 2013. But then owner of Eastside Brawlers, my dad, ended up winning a very close one, 111 to 105. And honestly, that is where most of the points came from, the point scale in terms of grading these rivalries, was because of that right there. It's just kind of crazy to think. Divisional match history, they've been in the same division before. Like I said, Little Critter Bowls, they do have the 40-60 ratio that we talked about, and they played each other 9 times, man, in the regular season. So, again, this is a rivalry that for sure belongs in the top 5. I'm kind of surprised it wasn't higher, to be honest. But, yeah, that's number 5.
Yeah, these two guys faced off in my first year ever in the championship, so I remember that. I remember this rivalry well, so it's cool to see it up here. So, here we go.
Number 4.
Ooh. All right. So this one right here, I was shocked. I was no disrespect to one of these two guys, but I was shocked this even made the top 10, let alone the top 5. And I'm just going to jump into it right now. It is Storm versus Matt. Two teams. Matt historically has been good. We've seen that. Back-to-back champion. The first team to ever win back-to-back years. And then Storm, historically, when you think of Storm, you don't think of an elite owner in this league. You think of as an above-average owner. He's been okay over the years. He's made the playoffs a good bit, sure. But here, when you look at the rivalry, it really comes down to one, trash talking between both of them. Definitely, it's there. They played each other 11 times in just the regular season alone. The ratio is definitely lopsided in the favor of Matt. But here's the thing. They've played each other twice in the playoffs. So that right there is going to breed some discontent between both owners for sure. And then they've been I would say the majority of both franchises' history, they've actually been in the same division up until the past 3 years. So again, that's adding to the fire too. And you can, because of some of that, I can see how this ends up in the top 5, but it just blows my mind though that it beat out some of the teams that we had talked about earlier last week.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was not expecting when you released this to us last week. You were like, you're never gonna guess number 4, and we couldn't. We had no idea it was gonna be this high. So
yeah, it's I mean. And like I said, nothing taken against either one of them, but it's just because how lopsided it is, I really didn't think it was going to be there.
Yeah.
And then, so at number 3, this is one that was just.
Whoa.
Oh, my God.
You have got to slow your roll, buddy. We've got
Do it.
We've got sound drops, man.
Number 3.
All right, we good?
All right. Number 3 is one that I mean, there's some definitely bias involved in this, like why I think it's in the top 3, but it ended up being in the top 3 not because of my opinion, but because literally playoff matchups and then the number of times we played each other. That is my dad, John, versus myself. We've played each other more than any other team has in league history. That's 16 times over the past 9 years. There is that 40-60 ratio, so you got that going right there. No real trash talking between either one of us. So honestly, that's kind of why I thought, I don't know, I could have seen this not falling in the top 5 because of that. Played each other twice in the playoffs. We have split in the playoffs. I remember, I'm pretty sure my dad beat me in the divisional round or like the semifinals one year. Pretty pissed about that, not going to lie. I didn't end up there. And then I ended up doing the same to him just a couple years after that, and then only to lose to Matt in the semifinals. So that's kind of the story of me in the playoffs. So in general, been in the same division, though, I think every single year but 1 year. And it's when we had – I don't know. Honestly, I don't even remember. It was sometime when we switched between CBS to My Fantasy League. Best decision of our lives, for sure. But anyways, definitely, when I think of this rivalry, our games are always close, and honestly, a lot of times it's for the division. I mean, Isaac remembers, any 3 of us could have won the division, but because we all split, it just, man, it was the toss-up come week 12. So one of those that literally decides the playoff picture for sure.
Yeah. No, those are always fun games. Always fun games. So here we go.
Number 2.
All right, number 2. This one definitely. If you don't believe this belongs in the top 2, you're kind of crazy to think that. But it is Colby versus Cody. The trash talking, check that box off because it's there between both teams. They played each other 12 times in the playoffs. You look at the 40-60 ratio, bam, that's there too. So their games are usually competitive between each other. You look at the fact that they've played each other in the playoffs before. They've been in the division most years that I can go back and recall. I think they've been in the same division a great number of times. And you think about between the two of them, they have 3 Little Critter Bowl victories, and I believe they have 4 Little Critter Bowl appearances just between the two of them. So perennially, Colby has always been one of the better owners in the league for sure. I don't think anyone can argue against that. Cody, I'm getting my words mixed up, is really turned it on the past 2 years, and it's made the rivalry even that much better for sure. And it definitely belongs in the top 3. And you could argue number 1 as well.
Yeah. No, the last 2 years, these guys have been juggernauts in the Top Shotters Conference. So I'm not surprised to see this one here at all. So, all right, Pat, are we ready for the big reveal?
Ooh, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Number 1.
All right. This one right here, when I was putting together the list of rivalries, I'm very ashamed. At first, I did think of this rivalry, but in my opinion, it definitely belongs in the top 3. And I can see when I look at this data why it's number 1. And it was number 1 by a landslide. Let me remind you, like it wasn't close between number 1 to from number 2 to number 1, or number 3 to number 1. It was like a landslide. Let me dive into it. It's none other than Cameron versus Jade, a brotherly rivalry. It's a competitive rivalry. Which, when you think of both teams, you've got 5 Little Critter Bowl appearances between both teams. You've got 2 Little Critter Bowl victories. A great number of divisional titles between both of them too. That trash talking is definitely there. When one of these guys beats the other one, like they don't talk for a week. Like it is like a big deal.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, like they just if I had them on the show right now, I bet they could recall pretty much every game they ever played each other, especially Cameron. He's like Rain Man when it comes to remembering scores and stuff that involved his fantasy team and when he plays Madden. But anyways, they played each other
when
10
he
times.
plays Madden.
Garrett, yeah, for sure. And then, anyways, number of times they played is 10 times. And you got to think Jay took a year off, so within an 8-year period, they played each other 10 times. The 40-60 ratio is definitely probably one of the closest rivalries in the league. They played each other 4 times in the playoffs. Like, just think about that. In 9 years, that's literally almost half of this league's history. They've wound up playing each other in the playoffs at some point. So you can imagine what it's like being around both of them. When one of them beats the other one in the playoffs, it's even better. It's just so funny and so great to see these two go at it. Not that like they're like screaming at each other or anything like that, but it's just you can feel that they definitely both want to beat each other really bad. And then to throw it on there, divisional history, yes, they've been in the same division before, so that only adds to the fire. Not to mention the controversial trade that Jade and Cameron did years ago.
I remember that one.
Do you remember that? This is
I remember that one.
Yeah, this trade, a lot of the trade rules we have is because of the trade those guys did. I won't dive into that because that's like a whole other story. But yeah, that is number 1 for our top 10.
Yeah, hyper competitive guys. I knew this was going to be number 1 as soon as we started this segment. I knew it was going to be a crime if this didn't end up as number 1. So I'm excited to see it there. I hope they're both listening and giving their own input, at home right now. So awesome. Well, that was a fun segment. We'll do more of those top 10s through this season. But right now we'll jump into kind of our reaction to rule changes, and I'll let Isaac kind of take the lead here because he had some strong opinions on some of the rules this year.
Yep. Well, considering I proposed most of them. So, yeah, of course I'm going to have a pretty good reaction. First off, we'll start off with the trade deadline being moved back 2 weeks. This was proposed by Cody. I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't really see a huge issue with it, but apparently some people don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, if tanking is a concern, I think pushing it back just makes that easier to do. I mean, we're already halfway through the league, which doesn't mimic the NFL already. So, I mean, I just don't see a need to push it back. That's just my man's opinion.
If there were rules being proposed this year to prevent tanking, this would just pour gasoline on the tanking scenario because I guarantee you, dude, you just push it back into the last 75% or final 25% of the schedule. Man, you're going to see it. And I'm so glad you guys on the trade committee and not me. This is going to be great to see you guys have to cipher through this.
Not many people actually propose trades anyway, so hopefully next year we'll be a little bit more active.
I appreciate that. Laughing at our work that we're going to have to do. Maybe over the year.
All right. Next, we got increased non-conference games to 3. This was proposed by Cody. Dude, I'm happy with it. I wanted the 1-player pool. We didn't get it, so this is the next best thing. I mean, I get 3 games against the other conference. I mean, what's better than that?
Yeah, I don't really care either way. I think I voted against it just because I like playing the guys in our conference. I don't know a lot of the guys in the other conference as well, but I mean, I guess I'll get to know them. So I don't care either way.
Let me go ahead and start that shit talk. Their conference is easy, so this is going to be some easy wins for our conference.
That I do feel good about.
Face.
I feel like I can chalk up some easy wins and go to the playoffs.
Exactly. I mean, that's 3 dubs right there.
Yeah, you hear that top shot? Cody, you hear that? We talking some top shit. We're talking on the show.
Yeah, you guys are definitely. And then on top of that, dude, I was gonna be happy with it either way, but I'm excited about renewing some of these old rivalries like Cameron Cody and some of these other ones because I think it's gonna be great for the league for sure.
Yep.
All right. Next, we got changed conference and divisional tiebreakers to divisional conference record. This was proposed by Pat. I'm okay with it. I don't really see a big issue or concern or worry about it.
I love it. It mimics the NFL tiebreaker, and I thought it was this way for years, and it wasn't. So I'm happy to see it that way. I like it. Pat?
Yeah, I liked it because, I mean, I've seen it over the years. There's been teams that I mean, we're really kind of kicked out of the playoff hunt because of some silly stuff like points for instead of divisional head-to-head matchup or conference head-to-head matchup. I think this is great. I'm looking forward to it.
Sweet. All right, next we got teams are allowed to trade players in the offseason without it impacting their remaining roster, draft, keeper value. I'm okay with it. Like the other one, I don't really see a big issue with it. I feel like not many people are going to do it the first year because they don't know how valuable it is. But I mean, this is
Hey,
really
Isaac.
helpful. I mean, I did some
Do
trade.
you mind saying that
Yeah.
again? You cut out on my end. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Like I said on the other one, I'm content. I'm okay with it. Nothing great, nothing bad. I'm pretty. Sorry, you threw me off there. Pat, go ahead. You're next.
Sorry if you hear Jedi drinking water in the background, but I'm sitting right beside him right now. No, I mean, here's my thing. What I like about it is that you guys there?
Yeah. All I hear is
You
Jedi.
hear?
Yeah,
You
that's
hear
all I hear
Jedi
now.
just like going at it.
Yeah, that's all I hear.
Yeah, like he literally when he drinks water, it's like a gallon at a time. Like he won't drink all day, but when he drinks, man, it's gone.
That's a thing. Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that was kind of distracting in itself. No, what I like about teams being able to trade in the off season and it not affecting their keeper values is you already know from the get go. All right, this is what it looks like. All right, this is what this player's worth. I don't have to account for stupid crap like like some kind of I don't know, like me trading for let's say Todd Gurley, then that throwing up my other rankings. It's just that's something that kind of always bothered me. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. I think it's going to increase trade in the offseason. It's going to increase involvement.
Yeah, and it's less work for us, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Next, we got increased fumble points from 2 to 3. Dude, I'm happy with it. I proposed it. I mean, granted, it's not a huge change. It's not really going to have much of an impact, but at least it matches interceptions. You know, I proposed all touchdowns would be 6 points. Well, 3 would be half of that. That's what I'm going towards. But, you know, I didn't get that. But now we get 3 points for a fumble and an interception. So I'm happy.
Yeah, it's just an arbitrary rule change. It won't be too significant. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Pat?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't significant either way. I don't even remember how I voted. Honestly, it wasn't a huge difference to me.
Well, guess what?
It happened.
I didn't need either one of y'all because it passed. Next, assisted tackles for linebackers go from 1 to 2, and D-line and DB tackles go from 1 to 3. Once again, I'm stoked. I mean, I proposed this. I got burned last year, and I think I lost the game actually because Avery Williamson put up 3 solo tackles and 8 assists. But I only got 8 points for those assists, and so you get what 4 points for a tackle. I mean, I got 20 points. And he had 3 tackles, 8 assists. I mean, I got really screwed, so I'm really happy about this getting passed. What you guys think?
Yeah, it's just another one of those minor rule changes or point changes that I don't care about. I like keeping points the same so I can project year over year better. So any kind of change to points, I'm generally not, in favor of. But it's all right.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you. I just feel like we're making the scoring system is already extremely high, and now it's about to be through the roof for sure. If anything, I'd like to see points go down, but I know the majority of the people of the league definitely they seem to kind of like the high scoring. So to each their own, I guess. But yeah.
No, we want points, Sam. We want points.
Yeah.
But the big thing with me with this is yes, you're going to increase more points for linebackers, but at the same time, there's not that big gap. Originally, when we did tackles, it was 3-to-1 ratio, and now it was 5-to-1 and 4-to-1. That gap was too much because the line is very thin for assisted tackle and a solo tackle. If you watch the games and see how they score, that line is like a thin piece of ice. Like if any pressure, that thing's going to break, and you're going to get assisted tackle instead of solo. So maybe next year we could cut it in half again and just make the ratio even, no matter if it's 5-3 or 3-2 or whatever.
No, yeah, I get
But
that. I just like being able to project. It makes it easier, but no, yeah. We'll go ahead and move on.
All right, next, games that are in tiebreakers will no longer be determined by the home team, but by the total bench points. Once again, I proposed this, not really because I feel that strongly for it. I proposed it because I hate the rule itself. I didn't really know of what a better alternative would be. I just came up with total bench points. Honestly, how does a home team determine if you really win? Like, that doesn't. How does that help? I really don't understand that. How it was ever passed that way. But anyway, I'm stoked.
Well, luckily, I don't think it's going to have a major impact. Hopefully, there won't be a lot of tying games. I don't like that people can be penalized just because their guys are on like a bye that week, and so if their bench doesn't score a lot, they could lose a game. But I don't think it's going to have a major impact in the league. I mean, I think decimal scoring might have been better, but that's kind of a more that's a larger kind of change instead of just scores. So I mean,
I'm about to say that's more advanced. I mean, we got to baby steps.
Yeah, I'm one of the. Well, I actually talked to a couple other people, and they were kind of like me. I liked the old system. I mean, it was something extremely unique to our league for sure. It basically, in a way, gave you a 1 point advantage for being the home team. Kind of like a home field advantage. I mean, does home field advantage truly affect the game? I mean, you could argue either way.
Only
but,
if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan, 12-man, or in the Dome at Mercedes in New Orleans. That's about the only home field.
I would say there's definitely more than just that. I mean, Pittsburgh's tough. New England's tough. Cleveland, actually, back when they were good, was considered one of the toughest places to play.
Don't say the Browns right now.
Carolina's tough.
But not right now.
Yeah, stop.
But anyways,
I've been to a game. It's terrible.
Anyways, like I was saying, I like the old system. It made our league like truly unique. I felt like in that sense, and I do agree. Like the bye weeks, it's going to cost people for sure. I mean, will it happen a lot? No. I mean, how many times do we ever have in a year? Maybe one, maybe two. But yeah.
Anyway, all I can say is bye, Felicia. We moving on. Next, we got keeper contracts to include the 2017 season. When this was originally voted, it was not really described very well, so people really didn't know what they were voting for. Me personally, I'm not happy with it because we did it in the off season after the year, so I thought it was going to be moving forward from that point, but no, they want to count that previous year also. So now that means all these players that we've had for 2 years, this is our last year with these players. So either they're going to be franchise tagged, which you only have one, or they have to be traded or they're released. So say goodbye to your top players.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. This is what I expected. I'm cool with it. I don't mind seeing some player rotation this season, getting some trades done. Pat?
Yeah, this is how I interpret it from when the rule was proposed, which I obviously should have elaborated on a little bit. Sorry, now if you hear drinking, that's Jolene. Anyways, but no, it was, this was one of the rules actually that only had 18 votes compared to some others that had more. So again, people skipping on certain rules. I don't know. I guess people are just lazy. But it would have been interesting to see if we had everyone vote if it would have been different. Although I highly doubt it would have been.
I'll tell you what, though, this rule compared with the week 8 trade deadline, I could see people using their players for 7 weeks and then a massive trade happening between at week 8 between everybody, just getting rid of their 30-year players and bringing new players on.
If you think about baseball, which I don't know how many of you guys watch baseball, but the trade deadline on baseball, these teams that suck that have good players, they're going to sell those players to get as much picks or lower end talent that hasn't developed yet. So I could see this happening in our league. A lot of these teams that know they suck are just going to sell their 2-3 top guys to these contenders.
Exactly.
To stack up on picks for the next year. So I mean,
and especially at week 8, man. That's why oh man, yeah.
I'm excited for it. But anyway,
it's gonna. Yeah, you're gonna see some craziness come week 8 for sure.
Which is like I'm saying, trade mania, which it's something we've never had that hopefully this helps bring.
Well, get ready for
So
some work,
people
guys.
just-
We're gonna be working.
Yeah, for real.
It's cool. Got my pen and paper ready. But anyway, last but least, owners are allowed to start edge rushers like linebackers. You know, your Max, your Millers, your Clownies, your Chubbs, your Watts. They're all now.
That's what she said.
Anyway, you can start those guys from in the D-line spot. So this is really going to help us.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Anyway, I really. All right,
man.
guys, we gotta get this together. I'm really happy I proposed it. It passed. Really stoked. We'll see how it works. I feel like it's going to help a lot of these guys that are really irrelevant. Starting linebackers are now going to be very well relevant starting in the defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm excited to see how our Chubs are gonna do. Sorry, guys.
All right. No, I would have cared about this rule more. I think. I mean, I'm so happy it passed regardless, but I would have cared about it more definitely if there was one player pool. I voted for it mostly because I knew we would need the depth of the D-line spot if we were to pass the one-player pool rule. Now this is definitely going to flood the DL market for sure, which, I mean, maybe a good thing because it's not like they're valued much anyways.
Hey, newsflash, he's very upset about this one-player pool not passing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We got a lot of text messages.
Well, not a text. We got essays from this man.
Oh my God! You have no idea. Like for multiple reasons. And hopefully, out of time. Don't say anything.
Hold your breath.
Real quickly. No, I was just irritated at how many people didn't even read anything, and they just that doesn't sound cool. No, like that's basically how some people voted. Or they voted for some reason, and the top shot is to, I want to make sure Cody's the best team every year. Like, are you what? Like, I mean, like, you guys don't even know what. Like, there's like 4 guys in that conference perennially don't know what they're doing, and they're voting. I don't even know. I don't even know where to start. Get me all worked up over here. I'm getting hot and bothered.
That's what she said.
It's that conference loyalty, man. That's what it is. So, but yeah, that's it. Are we done? Anything else?
Yep, we done.
No news, no picks this week. We'll come back with Super Bowl picks next week. We've got an awesome show next week. It's going to be a lot of player data.
I picked the NFC to win the Pro Bowl.
Okay, yeah.
Oh man,
I guess we could do
this
that.
This is gonna be intense, dude. I've already blocked out my entire afternoon to watch a Pro Bowl. I'm so excited. I've never missed a Pro Bowl. It's really one of the best games of the year. No, I'm just kidding. Hell no, I hate the Pro Bowl. I don't even remember the last time I watched a Pro Bowl game.
No, yeah, I'm not.
I watch them every year because there's nothing else on TV. But like it. I like to watch the skill challenges more leading up to the actual game.
The skill challenges are way cooler than the actual game.
Yeah, those are a lot better. So. All right, guys. Well, that's it. We're done. We'll be back for next week. I'm having a lot of fun with these, so we'll have a great episode next week. We're moving into February, so it's going to be leaving some of that 2018 stuff behind. Although we're going to touch on it a little next week. So we're kind of moving forward. I'm excited. But yeah, so we'll see you guys next week, and take it easy.
See you.
Patrick, you want to say goodbye?
Bye, girl.
Oh God. All right, I'm cutting it.